We have this massive deck, plenty of space to kind of just hang out on. We like spending our mornings out here.
Tiny living is very tiny. It barely fits our family, but it's good enough. This is one of my favorite parts about the tiny house, if I'm being honest, is the sink. I bet you wondered, does this tiny house have enough doors? No, it does not.
Will you join me? Will you roll? Make this house our tiny home.
Hi, we're the Akinpelus, and welcome to our tiny home. Come on. Our little family of 3 lives here. Miss Nisi, she is 9 months old. She loves it. And then Daniel.
Mr. Daniel.
Mr. Daniel.
I'm 26 years old, so if that matters.
You should do that in months.
I'm not that fast with math, but many, many months.
And then me.
I initially discovered tiny houses through Instagram, and I kind of started getting a little bit obsessed with them. And every single time I saw some that I enjoyed, I would bookmark them and send them to Andrea. So that's kind of where I initially started getting hooked. And then I kind of started pitching the idea to everyone I knew, pretty much.
My dad owns a storage shed business, and he actually builds tiny houses, fun fact. And so that's where I first learned about tiny houses. Was I was probably about this big, and he was building park models. Our life before going tiny, we were in a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, 1,400 square foot house. We got to thinking and talking, what if we just downsized? And in January of this year, we actually downsized into a 500 square foot apartment, and that just wasn't small enough. So we had to go to 300.
Our house is about 300 square foot. It's 10 by 30 as far as dimensions go.
In Tiny Homes Village, there are currently 16 lots available, and then the lot rent is $550, and that comes with, you get 1 gravel parking spot beside your tiny house. They also have guest parking and a nice little guest area for you to hang out, have cookouts if you have friends and family over, because we all know that it's hard to fit friends and family in a little tiny house.
Hi, I'm Shane. We're here at Tiny Homes Village in Rock Island, Tennessee. So here at the entrance, we have a rolling gate. This is our main road, and the post office let us name this main road, and we named it Tiny Home Way. Here are the lots. Each one of them has an electrical, water, sewer hookup. This one right here is available for sale. It's from Great Lakes. They're a great company. We're working with them. We're putting together a rent-to-own option. So that's a great option for someone that wants to come in and doesn't have that much money to get into it. So here we are at one of the barns. We put together a small picnic area here with a grill and a fire pit. So let's go take a ride, and let's go to the back of the property and show you the pond that we have there. And maybe take a look at that church that's been there since 1860, I believe. So this will be for the community. We're not gonna put any houses around the lake. We might build 2 decks off of the pond, and then maybe some gazebos around with some grills and fire pits for the community to enjoy.
All right, so let's introduce you guys to the outside of our tiny house. So first things first, we have this massive deck. It's about 8 by 20 or so. It's plenty of space to kind of just hang out on. We like spending our mornings out here. It's really beautiful. You get to enjoy the sunrise with a beautiful cup of coffee. And as you can see, we got some lovely rocking chairs behind us. And we also have a little fire pit. We have electrical outlets with weather covers on them as well. Moving on down, we have these 3 massive glass sliding doors, so they let in a ton of sunlight. There's also 3 windows on this tiny house. We'll see them as we kind of go around. Here's the first one, right over our mini split unit. The mini split is in the bedroom and does a fairly sufficient job of cooling it down. I mean, it's a pretty small space, so it doesn't take a whole lot. So around this side of the tiny house, we have a couple of hookups. You see the hookup for plumbing, for all sewage and things like that to drain. We have the 50 amp electrical connection as well. Just kind of basic RV hookups. It's pretty straightforward. You can kind of just come, bring your tiny house and get plugged in and you're set, you're good to go. So here are two of those windows that we talked about. It's really right in the middle of those two other sliding glass doors. So it creates this really, really nice cross breeze. And so going over to this side brings us to the third and final massive sliding glass door, which is perfectly situated for sunrises. If you're wondering to yourself, wow, with all those 3 sliding glass doors, I bet it gets hot in there. And you would be right in saying that. But they also let in a lot of breeze, so it's pretty nice. Down here, actually, right down where you see that lush grass growing, is a natural spring. They're working on kind of renovating that and developing it and putting in a freshwater spring. In just a few months, maybe a year or so, there's gonna be access to fresh spring water right there, which is incredible. Another awesome thing as well is you have the option to either keep your tiny house on blocks like ours, as you can see down there, or you can have it on wheels. This one we got it transported all the way from Miami, and we just opted to keep it on blocks. And so that's what we're rolling with. But as you can see, there's a couple of other tiny houses around here that are on wheels. So there are a couple options.
Tiny living is very tiny. To my left, we have a tiny couch. It barely fits our family, but it's good enough. And then this is her little library underneath of here. These are where we keep all of her books so she doesn't tear up our stuff. And we will sit and work at the bar, which is great. We got a beautiful view all around us. You can see like the beautiful mountains of Tennessee, and it's gorgeous. And I couldn't ask for a better office space. You don't put me in like a city. Don't do that. But yeah, so these are beautiful views for when we're working. And I'll come into the kitchen. And then this little board right here, which we'll have to move it up as she starts crawling, is our please and thank you board for our prayers. And some of those prayers are, God, please help us financially. And one of those helps is being able to downsize and live minimally. And when you have such a small space, you can't buy as much stuff. So helps with budgeting too. But yeah, those are lots of thank yous. I like the thank yous are like longer than the pleases right now, which is really cool. God is awesome. This is one of my favorite parts about the tiny house, if I'm being honest, is the sink. It's got a super deep like basin, and then you can like rinse your veggies in here and cut vegetables. And my husband makes pour-overs now. I'm spoiled. And that's pretty much all there is in the kitchen. And so we'll go and I'll show you the bathroom. Is also pretty small. We have space for a washer dryer combo that we are working on getting right now. And then the shower is actually a big shower for tiny living. If I'm being completely honest, I can actually shake my legs in it. Some of the tiny showers that we've been in are like, you can barely move in them. And then we have a real flushing toilet, which is amazing because I wouldn't want to put up with compost or incinerated toilets, especially, I don't know. I just am iffy about those things, especially with a young one. And then the view from your throne is also quite beautiful. And the sink is actually bigger than the sink we had in our apartment before we moved here. And so I've not filled it up yet, which is kind of crazy. And, oh, you want to say something? She wants to point out Johnny Cash, the superhero of country music. Is that what you wanted to point out? Thank you. And then coming out of the bathroom, this also slides really nicely and closes off. This is the bedroom. We don't bed share. That scares me, but she's got her little bed on the floor. Yeah. And so it's pretty great because I can just like roll over, take care of her in the middle of the night, and I don't have to get up and walk to another room. It's also kind of terrible because every time she wakes up or stirs, I also wake up. So it's like both good and bad. So my husband's a musician. He's got several songs out on Spotify. You look him up. It's I/O, and he's got some good songs. Another grand reveal. I bet you wondered, does this tiny house have enough doors? No, it does not. We have a third sliding glass door that goes out to our deck. So if we don't want to walk all the way to the kitchen to go out to our car, we can just walk right out of the bedroom. It's also really beautiful at night when the sun's setting. We can't quite see the sunset from here, but the sky is just beautiful. It's better than any TV in your bedroom, I will say. Just filling your life with stuff just saps the joy out of you because you're always thinking, I need this next thing, I need this thing, I need that. Oh, my kid doesn't have a bajillion toys. How are they gonna be happy? It's honestly more freeing and you live a more joy-filled life whenever you don't have a bunch of stuff like cluttering it. So if you're on the fence about going tiny, just do it. Just sell everything, just go tiny.
And have more money in the bank, which is super cool.
Yes.
If you liked this week's episode, make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and check back soon because we're publishing more unique home tours every single week. And if you'd like to join our team, make sure you click on the join button below to get access to members-only content and other awesome perks.